We were going to see an ex-boyfriend of James in New York City. His name was Jackie the Joker. He was a big celebrity. He's Howard Stern's writer. So we're getting ready to James Wildfest. So we're getting ready to get in, and Bob gets out of the shower. So Bob's going to go, I want to go out and take a little ride. I want to get gas for the car. And Bob goes, I'll go with you. But you just have a towel on. That's okay, I'll go. And he gets in the car, and he just has his little pink towel on. We go riding around Nutley together, and he's in this little pink towel, and I stop in the gas station, and I'll never forget the Turkish gas attendant's expression when he looks in the car at me and says, "How much, please?" And he takes a good look and sees Bob in a towel. I mean, it was fun stuff. And then we go into New York, and we go up to K-Rock, the studio. And Bob has never met Jackie the Joker, and I would think, at this point, maybe, certainly to be friendly, but Bob would be a little bit reserved. As soon as he meets Jackie the Joker, he goes up and he puts his arm around me, he goes, "I want you to do me a favor." And he takes me, walks me down the hallway, he says, "My best friend wants to meet someone that works and hangs out in your show. I want you to set it up for me and him and my wife to meet him tonight and hang out all night." And the guy was so astonished that he was so honest and forthright and forward, but in a loving, caring way. He said, "I'll do whatever I can." And the outcome, like I say, is that he set us up for Jane, Bob, and myself to hang out all night with Sam Kennison, which is a great time. And that was all due to Bob. But it was the way he did it. It was just the way he was. He was just so beautiful. And we had a lot of great times together doing musical projects as well. I remember one of my favorite stories is that Bob had to do his records, but he had to get them done in enough time that we could all go out and have a pizza together. This was his big thing. Like, okay, his record's important. The Bob record's got to be done, but the Bob record's got to be done by 3 o'clock on Wednesday, so at 4 o'clock on Wednesday we can get in the car, and by 5 o'clock we could be at his favorite pizza place and hang out there and go to the movies all night. And if the project wasn't done, well, it had to be done. That's the way. So everything had to be on schedule. And so the poor engineer was rushing like a madman to get the Victory Under Thee album done. He was beside himself, trying to make things, and Bob was over his shoulders, and "You gotta get done, you gotta get done." And I walked in, and the engineer says, "Boy, I'm working like crazy just so you guys can go for your pizza." So it was great. So you see, everything is in its proper perspective. And I have to say that my father and Bob, they were also dear friends. And my mom and Bob were dear friends. My mom and Bob, they would sometimes sit all night in my mom's room and discuss a topic endlessly. And of course I never knew, and still will never know to this day, what the resolve was. I don't know if they did either, but I would sit up with Jane and we would talk about God knows what. And they would be together, they would have some huge intellectual, philosophical talk. And they always thought that they were both 100% right. It was always fun to see. And as far as my dad goes, I want to say that he was one of the more unusual Baba people, in the sense that he loved Baba tremendously, and he was very, very devoted to Baba. He was very devoted to Baba in a way that he dragged the honesty, because Baba said this thing about, be honest. Say what you feel, say whatever you think I am, feel it and acknowledge it and be real to that. And what my father does, he used that in that motto and transferred that to his life, where he was natural in any setting. I mean, there was never pretense. It was whatever setting he was in, he just would come in and boom, he would sit in the middle of the floor, he would lie down in the middle of the floor. One time we were up in Massachusetts visiting the Pilgrims of 1620 that first came, and I was on a tour. And I remember looking up as the tour, it was a guided tour, I was on my father was gone, and we're walking past the first original logs that were discovered and used to build the first cabins in 1620 by the Pilgrims of Massachusetts. And who's lying on top of all these logs with my father? I said, what are you doing there? So I'm taking a nap. So he was great, and he would hang out with all of us as teenagers. In fact, one of my favorite stories is that we all used to go to a drive-in movie, about 10 kids and my dad. And one of the things we always used to do, we always used to go to horror films. So we went to see Night of the Living Dead when it came out with my father. And here we are, all in the drive-in, and my father's sitting there watching about 10 minutes of the movie. He says, "Rob, this movie is strictly horseshit." Strictly horseshit. That's what he coined the phrase. So he gets out of the car and he starts imitating the zombie. Much better than the movie. And so then he gets on the roof of the car and he says, "This is all crap. I'm going to go up and look at the stars and talk to Bobby." So he lies on the roof and he stayed there for 4 hours. So he just did what he had to do. And once we were coming out of the center of Myrtle Beach, after a program, I think I was playing, and he was in the passenger seat, so he said, "I'll go get the gate, I'll open the gate." It was about at least 10, 12 cars behind us. He said, "I'll be right back." I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'll be right back." And he goes off in the bushes, and he takes a loop. And everyone can see him do it. And it takes him like 10 minutes. We're all waiting there at the gate. And then he gets back in the car and he said, "Dad, everyone can see you. Hello?" No one noticed anything. It's endless. He was also very close to John Bass, and I want to mention John Bass because John Bass also truly loved my mom. They were all, the three of them were very tight. And John used to come and used to stay at our house every weekend. He lived in Manhattan, and John Bass was Fred and Ellen Roosevelt, started the Monday night meetings back east. And he would spend the weekends with us as I was growing up in Nutley. And I would say that John was like my second father. And I also thank John because John's the one that actually, it was through inheriting money from him when he passed away that started me off on my musical career. That was all through him. And he felt that I would become a musician, and he wanted to support that. So I remember this one story with my father and John Bass, where John Bass and my father were going to clean the gutters out of the roof of the house. So John was going to hold the ladder, my father was going to climb up and clean the gutters. So here's John, he's holding the ladder, my father climbs up, cleans the gutters out, John's holding the ladder down below. And my father decides to take a little shortcut. Instead of climbing back down the ladder and going to the front of the house, he decides he's going to climb over the roof of the house and then clean up the gutters in the front. So he climbs over the roof, and John's still holding the ladder out back, waiting for him to come back. So now he's out front, he's cleaning the front, and he decides instead of going back over, going down the ladder, he'll take a little shortcut, and he'll just kind of slide down the side of the house. So he almost makes it to the bottom. And as he comes to the very bottom, he gets a big gash in his leg, and he falls, and then he starts to go in the house, and he says, "There's no big problem, there's no big deal." But of course, it's like a huge gas. I don't think he realized it. My mom sees this, and she goes, "My God, we have to go to the emergency room right away. You're bleeding all over the place." She calls the ambulance comes with the police, it's a whole big hoopla. They take him away, and here's John still in the back. And he comes around the phone, my mom, "Virginia, the police are here. What's going on?" It was complete lunacy. But I also wanted to say about one story that my father was very proud of. It was a short story that I do not have a tape of, but I want to share it to you with Bob, which was he made a tape, and he made many tapes where he would do recitatives of Shakespeare sonnets and different great poems he would recite, and he would set them to music. And he did a poem which was, actually it wasn't a poem, it was a part of a short story called The Light of Asia, which was about Prince Siddhartha's life. And this was a certain part of the book which he recited on a tape, which was about Prince Siddhartha's awakening to the world. He was the first time that he went out into the world, and that he saw a beggar in the streets when he thought that the whole place was clean, and then he saw one beggar and he was shocked by what he saw, and then he realized that he had to renounce. And what is this Prince Siddhartha's renunciation speech of his past, and leads him on to his new life, and the new life that will lead him on to realization. So my father made a tape of this, and as usual, he would make it in the bathroom because it had the best acoustics. And it usually would take all day, so the bathroom was tied up all day. So that caused some problems, which I don't have to get into. But the tape, he made this tape, and then he played it for Bob in '56. Or first he asked Bob, and he said, I've made this tape, but I'd like to play it for you. And Bob said to him, he said, well, how long is it? And my father said, it's about 10 minutes or so. So Baba got everyone on the center to come and listen to this tape outside the lagoon cabin. And the tape didn't last 10 minutes, it lasted around a half hour. But Baba made everyone sit still for the whole tape. And at the end, my father felt very bad, because he felt like he had deceived Baba at the time. And he looked down and he was very humiliated, and he humbled himself before Baba and said, Baba, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize how long the tape was. And Baba silenced him and said, no, the tape has come from the heavens. And I tell you this because this was the last time that my father ever recited anything in public, which was in Myrtle Beach in 1991, in December. It was right before Christmas. And then he died 2 weeks later, on January 8th, 1992. So I wanted to play another short video of my dad, because my dad is, if you have to say anything about me as a musician, my mom's tone deaf, but she's a brilliant woman, and my father is the one that had the musical side. He played everything by ear on the black notes. He never read music. So everything he played was in G flat major, which was really wild because he played some really difficult music, all in G flat, and he would pick it up by ear. And he was also a songwriter. He wrote a few songs. He wrote some standards from the 40s. He wrote a version to Baba's Words of Parvardigar Prayer. He wrote some rock and roll tunes. In fact, one rock and roll tune he wrote was recorded, and he did it at a theater in New Jersey. It was called The Orangutan Roll. I still remember being a little kid at 6 years old, looking up in a theater full of kids on a Saturday afternoon matinee, watching my father on stage dressed up in an orangutan and dancing around. It was great. A portrait of some of my experiences in life with my family and my friends that are gone and some that are still here. And I don't know how Bob put me all in with this, but thanks a lot, Bob. But I am grateful. I am truly grateful for all these experiences. They've been very unusual. And the older I get, there's a motto I'll just pick, which is, the older I get, which is something that Mark Twain has said, the less I know. But I'm glad that what I do know, at this particular stage of the game, I am pleased with in my life. And I thank Bob and everyone very much. And thank you for having me here to share with you.